Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's a long time since I've done a sit down video, but here we go. This is the worst 5 things I've experienced while living in a van for the last 6 years. So, no particular order. Numero uno. That's 1, if you don't know. I had a training course to do down in Birmingham, and I had no choice than to go down in my van and try and find a park up somewhere near where the training course was. So I parked up in an area of Birmingham. I mean, Birmingham's not the nicest place anyway, but I parked up in an area of Birmingham that looked on the face of it all right, although I did arrive there when it was dark. I got into bed, got my head down, kept it stealth, windows closed, blinds closed, all that business. Nobody knew I was in there. I was rudely awakened by the van rocking from side to side. That's strange, what's going on? Turns out, a lady of the night, a prostitute, an adult worker, a hooker, whatever you want to call them, I'm not going to assume the gender of them, was sat on the back step of my van and climbing up the ladder to try and get to the roof of my van. Presumably, I don't know why, but that happened. And then I got out of bed, looked through the curtain at the front to find, I don't know if it was the same one or another one, doing a makeup in my rearview mirror. The next day when I woke up, there was somebody laid outside my sliding door on the floor. I don't want to assume, but I think they might have been a little bit drunk or on drugs. Anyway, moral of that little story is, don't go to Birmingham. Number 2. I was parked up in Sheffield, where I'm from. In fact, I was parked very close to where I was brought up. I know the area very well. Nice little park up, usually quite quiet. This one time I was parked up in this little quiet parking spot when I went out to walk the dog. I saw a bright light in the sky. A couple of bright lights actually. And all of a sudden, those bright lights appeared to move and fall from the sky into the woodland right next to where I was. Now, I'm not a believer in aliens usually, but my mind couldn't figure out why a light fell from the sky and landed in the woods. So I just shit my pants, I'm not gonna lie, and assumed the worst. E.T. had come to get me. I jumped in the back of my van, closed all the curtains, and I could not, there was no reasonable explanation for why this had happened. So I was in there thinking, well, I'm trapped now, what am I going to do? So I had to climb through from the back into the front. I've never started and driven off in my van so quick. And I drove until I found some street lights in a busy residential area, and I parked there and felt safe. But that was almost an alien encounter. The next day, turns out it was a meteor shower. I didn't know it at the time that it was a meteor shower. It just was a meteor shower, but it looked to me like aliens were landing on Earth. And I felt a bit stupid after that, but still the fear was bloody there. Number 3. Worst thing I've experienced are people. Now the people that think, oh, he lives in a van, he must be destitute, must be homeless. Well, technically I'm kind of houseless, I suppose you would put it. But so many people trying to give me handouts and you can stay at mine, don't stay in your van. It's, you know, I want to stay in my bloody van. I like my van, it's nice, it's quiet, it's peaceful. I can drive away from drama and people like you whenever I want to. But there were lots of kind people. I know they only meant well, but lots of people didn't want me to stay in my van, didn't think it was safe, didn't think it was the right thing to do. Well, I mean, I showed them. I made it last quite a long time now, coming into the 6th year since I took on full-time van life. And I made it work. So those nasty people, who probably did mean well, but they seemed nasty at the time, are one of the worst things I've ever experienced while being in a van. Now, I'm not usually the fighting type. When I was a little bit younger, I might have had a little scrap or two. But as an adult, especially since I've had children, I've shied away from that kind of thing. So, one day, I went to go buy a new van. And I'd been parked on a residential street for a little while, for a couple of weeks, in my old van. But left it there while I went to pick up a new van. I brought my new van back to the same street. Moved my old van and left my new van parked in a safe place while I moved my old van to my friend's house. Me and my friend then came back to go pick up my new van to take it to his house so we could convert it there. When I got back to my new van, a local resident came out and was shouting at me about leaving my van and blocking his drive. It wasn't bloody blocking his drive at all, and I'm not that stupid and I'm not that inconsiderate. It was nowhere near blocking his drive. But anyway, he was very angry. I explained to him that I'm about to leave, so it's no problem. Sorry for the inconvenience and all that. But then I noticed he got a knuckle-duster in his hand. Now, at that point, I should have just run away or got in my van and disappeared. But I was annoyed that he'd pulled a weapon out on me to cause me harm. So I had to, fight or flight, and I didn't run. So me and this guy ended up fighting in the street over me blocking his drive, even though I wasn't blocking his drive. And the guy was throwing bricks at me and wheel braces and knuckle dusters and all kinds of stuff. He didn't come out on top anyway in the end, but that's another story. Now, a really bad experience that actually did end up to be quite a good experience in the end, but a really bad experience was when we all went into this bloody COVID lockdown situation. Now, I was quite comfortable living in a van until that point, but when that happened, the whole world went mad. We would treat like, well, I can't really find words. We would treat like aliens, I suppose. And yeah, I'm going back to aliens. We would treat like aliens. Go home. We are home. Where do you want us to go? You shouldn't be moving around. You're spreading COVID. We're not spreading COVID. We're in a van. It was mental. So many people leaving notes on vans, banging on vans, letting tyres down on vans. Police harassing constantly, almost every day for 3 months. Forum posts about us. It was crazy. We were almost chased out of towns at some points. It was mental. The only good side of it was that there were quite a lot of nice people that helped us out, but for the most part, even fellow van lifers turned on us, said that we shouldn't be out in our vans. But where the bloody hell were we supposed to go? And also, we were out in the countryside in the middle of nowhere. Who were we hurting? It's them city folk that were spreading the horrible disease that turned out not to be that bad. We were out away from it all. Anyway, lockdown was a very crazy situation for everybody, but imagine yourselves what it was like in a van. It was mental tricky. It was mental. Alright? Anyway, that's 5 things that I've had to put up with while living in a van. But in all honesty, I wouldn't change it for the world, regardless of all them things. If you would like to see more van life content, including building camper vans, which is what I do for a living, follow this channel, go subscribe, turn your notifications on and give us a thumbs up, because there's plenty more to come. Every single week we're uploading on this channel, sometimes twice a week. It's twice a week. You can't get, not to mention the shorts, almost every day. Live streams every day. Get on board. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the support from everybody over the last 5 or 6 years. It's been mental, but for the most part good. I'll see you soon. Bye, Felicia.